travel along, Catholic pilgrims, for 1 year as we read through St. Faustina's diary. Join me, Amy Thomas, each day for a short reading out of the diary which brought us a deeper understanding of Christ's divine mercy. Hey, Catholic pilgrims, welcome to day 220 of our readings from St. Faustina's diary. So that's another 10 days down, and we are still moving along. For some reason, lately, the numbers of people listening has skyrocketed, and I don't know why, but I sure am grateful for you all joining me through this diary. So we've been going through Holy Week with Sister Faustina, and today is Friday in Holy Week. So the readings are going to be a little bit longer today because I want to keep the continuity of the entire day. And what she's going through and what she's experiencing. So the readings are going to be longer. And I know yesterday I had a little bit longer podcast. I kind of cringed when I saw that it was about 17 minutes. But today will hopefully be a little shorter. We'll do the readings. I'll say a few things and then we'll be done for the day. So our readings are from Notebook 3, numbers 1055 through 1061. March 26th, 1937, Friday. In the morning, I at once felt the torture of his 5 wounds in my body. This suffering continued until 3 o'clock. Although there is no outward sign of it, the torture is no less painful. I am glad that Jesus is protecting me from people's eyes. At 11 o'clock, Jesus said to me, "My host, you are refreshment for my tormented heart." I thought after these words that my heart would burn up. And he brought me into such close intimacy with himself that my heart was espoused to his heart in a loving union. And I could feel the faintest stir of his heart and he of mine. The fire of my created love was joined to the ardor of his eternal love. This one grace surpasses all others in its immensity. His Trinitarian being enveloped me entirely, and I am totally immersed in him. My littleness is, as it were, wrestled with this immortal, mighty one. I am immersed in incomprehensible love and incomprehensible torture because of his passion. All that concerns his being is imparted to me also. Up to now, Jesus has been bringing me to know about and to have a presentiment of this grace. But today he granted it to me. I would not even dare to dream about it. My heart is in ceaseless ecstasy, as it were, although outwardly nothing disturbs my contacts with my neighbor or my attending to various matters. Nothing is capable of interrupting my ecstasy, nor can anyone suspect it, because I have asked God to protect me from detection by people. And together with this grace, there entered my soul a whole ocean of light, enabling me to understand God and myself. Amazement overwhelms me entirely and leads me as if into a new ecstasy aroused by the fact that God has deigned to descend to me who am so little. At 3 o'clock, I prayed prostrate in the form of a cross for the whole world. Jesus' mortal life was coming to an end. I heard his 7 words. Then he looked at me and said, "Beloved daughter of my heart, you are my solace amidst terrible torments." Jesus is commanding me to make a novena before the Feast of Mercy, and today I am to begin it for the conversion of the whole world and for the recognition of the divine mercy, so that every soul will praise my goodness. I desire trust from my creatures. Encourage souls to place great trust in my fathomless mercy. Let the weak, sinful soul have no fear to approach me, for even if it had more sins than there are grains of sand in the world, all would be drowned in the immeasurable depths of my mercy. When Jesus had given up his last breath, my soul dissolved from the pain, and for a long time I could not come to myself. I found some relief in tears. The one whom my heart had come to love has died. Will anyone understand my grief? In the evening, over the radio, I heard hymns, that is, psalms, sung by priests. I burst into tears, and all of the pain was renewed in my soul, and I wept sorrowfully, unable to find appeasement in this pain. Then I heard a voice in my soul, "Do not cry. I am not suffering any more." and for the faithfulness with which you accompanied me in my sufferings and death. Your own death will be a solemn one, and I will accompany you in that last hour. Beloved pearl of my heart, I see your love so pure, purer than that of the angels, and all the more so because you keep fighting. For your sake, I bless the world. I see your efforts to please me, and they delight my heart. After these words, I wept no more, but thanked the Heavenly Father for having sent his Son, and for the work of the redemption of mankind. The Catholic Church has such a beautiful rhythm to its holidays and its different seasons. The ordinary time is just a good time to kind of be still and wait patiently for the next season to roll around. I love Advent, and I especially love the Lenten and Easter seasons. Growing up, I did not have these things. And so, really, when it came to Easter, it was just the day of Easter, and that was it. That was all there was. And there wasn't a whole lot of preparation before Easter, and then there was nothing after that Sunday was over. It was just done. My church did have some bread and broths on Wednesdays. I think I mentioned that before. But there just wasn't a big Lenten push to really enter into those 40 days into the desert with Christ. It just wasn't really a part of, our faith life. And so when I came into the Catholic Church and there was all these different seasons and this preparation time, it was so new to me, but I really love it. I'm a very traditional minded person. I love traditions, and I fully enjoy reading about how a tradition came about, the history behind it, all that kind of stuff. I love it. And so I loved just immersing myself in all the different seasons that we go through as Catholics. And like I said, I really love the Lenten season, but the Holy Week is so meaningful to me. I draw my mind with Christ into that week, and it just really helps Easter have such meaning. I really think that. And so I think it's so important to really take the church up on all that it offers during that Holy Week and during, the Lenten season, the Advent seasons, but especially during Holy Week. It just makes, Easter just seem so much more glorious. I'll tell you a really cool story before I let you go. So when we first moved to Virginia back in 2013, we went to church on the campus of UVA, the University of Virginia, and the parish there was St. Thomas Aquinas, and it was run by Dominicans. And Dominicans, man, they can give a homily. They do not waste their words. They're very precise. Anyway, our friends that we had met that lived in our neighborhood went to church there as well. And the wife, she said, the first Easter that we were in Virginia, she said, you gotta go to the Easter Vigil. And we didn't normally do that because we had little kids, and it's typically a very long night. But we were like, okay. And she's like, the music is really good. You are going to love it. I'm like, oh, all right, we'll go. So we get there, and we walk into the church, and everything is dark. Everything. There are hardly any lights on me, just enough to get you to the bathroom. We walk into the sanctuary, and it is just completely dark. And there is some lights, and things are cloaked in black, and there's purple everywhere and things like that. And as the night goes on, it's very solemn. The music is just like almost like a heartbeat, very low and deep, and it was just so moving. Well, when it came about midnight, we all went out into the courtyard, and we all lit our candles on a candle that was out there. And then we all proceeded back into the church. And when we got back into the church, we all sat down, and everything went completely black. We were told to, put out our candles and everything. And all of a sudden the music started kind of just this cascade of music. It was very low, very deep and dark. And you could see in the darkness figures running around in black cloaks. It was crazy. I mean, it was a sensory overload, but it was so cool. You could just see all these figures coming up and down the aisles, running around. They were doing something, but you couldn't really tell what they were doing. And there was this music and everything. And then all at once, the lights flip on, and the church is just shrouded in Easter lilies. A banner has come down that's He is risen. The trumpets were blaring, the music went high. It was a glorious sound, like the angels in heaven, and it was just mind-blowing. It was so cool. I think about it today and I'm just like, oh man, that was so cool. But I just loved it. I had never seen anything like that before in my life, and I just sat there and I was like, oh man, I just love how the Catholic Church does Lent and Holy Week and Easter. It's just awesome. And it just makes it so meaningful to me. Maybe not for everybody, but for me, it's just so meaningful. So I highly encourage you, just like I said, take the church up on all she has to offer. And if you ever get a chance to go to the UVA campus Easter Vigil, I highly recommend it. That is all for today, Catholic Pilgrims. I will see you back here for day 221. And until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.